Hello and welcome to the stream, guys. It is Tuesday morning, which means it's Stream Tuesday. I'll be streaming today, well, right now, and tonight at 6 p.m. EST on the Pixelogic ZBrush channel. So if you guys are going to be around for that, swing on by. And I think we can go ahead and get started on something new today. We're going to start up with a sphere and work on what I thought would be cool would be to do a stylized bust, just like the head, maybe a little bit of torso, of Felix PewDiePie. So we're going to start here with our sphere, start by shaping things up and going from there. But yeah, probably start with a little bit of Dynamesh and then get rocking and rolling here. I will very quickly shout out my, there it is, all the way in the bottom corner, my Gumroad, gumroad.com/Follygon. If you guys are interested in some more higher quality ZBrush content, I put a lot more time in this stuff than I obviously do into my streams. But yeah, I got some courses and tutorials up here at the top row, and then I have some other stuff like base meshes, brushes, materials, my UI, all the stuff that I use in ZBrush professionally. But other than that, I say we go ahead and get started blocking out the main shapes of this. We're not going for realism. Realism, that's the word that I'm looking for. We're not going for realism. I would like to try to do something in a little bit more of a Disney-esque, a little bit more Disney-styled. I tried to find some references online to see if anybody else had done some like 2D art in this style, and I really couldn't find, I don't know what I'm doing here. I really couldn't find much, so we're just kind of going off the dome a little bit. And then I do have one image that I found by an artist named Luigi Lucarelli, or Hello Luigi. He's an awesome dude. He's got a ton of really cool stuff. I've used his work in the past as a reference, but let me find that image. Lozer and the Big Brush. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the stream. How are you doing? So here's the image by Luigi Lucarelli. If you guys don't follow him, you can check him out on ArtStation or Instagram, which is where I found this one. But yeah, I'm not going to go for this exact style. It's probably going to be a little bit more complex than this, but I did like the eyes. I'm not sure if I'm going to go quite, that circular, quite that round. I guess we'll see when we get to that part, but let's stop talking about what we're doing, or what we're going to do, and just do it. Let's dive in here. So of course, starting with the block out, the entire point of this process is to kind of slow things down and really focus on big forms, on the major shapes that are going to make up what you are creating. It's important to take your time during this stage and just pay attention to your concept, or, reference, not really a concept at this point. Let's just get in the basic head and a quick neck. And I find that putting in the neck earlier tends to make it easier to figure out proportions as you move along. So I'll just use a sphere for that. I will keep it separated for a little bit and then merge it down later so it's all one mesh. But for the head, let's go ahead and start shaping this up. He's got a little bit more of a kind of squared off jawline. I think it's really apparent right here in this image, but then you can also see kind of the line break coming down from the corner of his eye. I would like to get that in there. I think that's one of the, like if you were doing a caricature of Felix, then I think that would be something that you exaggerate and kind of pull out there a little bit more. So that's probably going to be one of the first things that I try focusing on here to get into the image, or the sculpt here. So let's just start by planing out a few different areas, getting that jawline on the bottom. Obviously way too thick. Let's make sure we're getting an appropriate angle here. And this resolution's being just a little bit too low for my liking. I'll probably up-res that Dynamesh here in just a moment. But yeah, we're just, hanging out today. Feel free to ask any questions, or just chill. That's kind of what today is. Just a chill day, do some fun sculpting, try to make something cool and maybe answer a couple questions along the way. Let's see. What do we want to do next? I like to pull up a line. Even when the characters I'm working on don't have an incredibly strong split in their face or plane break in their face right there, I still like to start blocking that in. It'll probably be quite a bit sharper for the character that we're making today by the end of the process. Let's up-res that a little bit here. There we go. And then, let's grab our transpose line and figure out where we want this to hit. I should also very quickly, because this is something I forgot to do, check out what my stream is titled today. Doing critiques. We're not doing critiques today. That's okay. Takes 5 seconds to update that. If it actually updates. Well, it's updated in my dashboard, so I'm just going to assume it takes a minute to go over to the channel. And let me know if it doesn't change, and we'll try it again. I don't want people coming in thinking we're doing critiques today. Speaking of critiques, though, if you guys want to get something critiqued here on the live stream, you just shoot me an email, follygon@gmail.com, and we will take a look at it on Friday, next Friday. Live critiques used to be on Saturdays, but a couple weeks ago we started moving them to Fridays, so if you haven't been here in a while, it'll be important to know. Alright, so let's figure out exactly where we want that eye line to be. Probably a little bit too high right now. Papalotti just subscribed. Welcome, man. How you doing? How are you doing today? The stream title is updated. Thank you, Copy Wrong. Awesome, awesome name, by the way. The Papa's here. How are you doing, man? I've seen that you have been on the recovery track as of late. I haven't seen an update in a little bit, but I hope you're doing well. If you just jumped in, thank you for the sub. I appreciate that a lot. We're working on doing a stylized version of PewDiePie today. Probably in more of like a Disney style for those that are just hopping into the chat and didn't see or just joining the stream. This is an illustration by Luigi Lucarelli, and it's not the exact style that I wanted to go for, but it was a pretty close facial shape. So I was like, yeah, you know what? We'll start here, and I'll use that for like the eyes. I like those eyes. I like that nose a lot. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what we do. We'll play around with it. Just showing some love to my bud. Well, thank you. Thank you. That's very nice of you. Just showing some love. Well, I appreciate that a lot. I don't get a ton of subs here, so I appreciate it. Very nice of you, man. How goes the arting on your side? As well as everybody else in chat. If anybody's working on anything art related, or I guess it doesn't even really have to be art related. If you guys are working on anything cool, share a link in the chat. We'll check it out. I love seeing what you guys are working on. So much monsters. What's going on, dude? I try to do at least one nice thing a year. That's you know what, my 2019 resolution. I'm gonna do one nice thing this year. It's gonna be awesome. It's more than I did last year. Yes, that's right, Ariel. And you're done for 2019 now. Check that box, move on. Big Brush working on a dragon, cause why not? Heck yeah, man. I love me some daggin' dragons. Dragon time. Let's see, what do I want to do with this nose? He's got a pretty wide nose towards the bottom. So to push that into the stylized realm, what do we want to do here? I want to figure out what I want to do with this jaw. Kind of want to plane that out, like flatten that even more. A lot of what this is, I think a lot of this is going to be kind of in this earlier stage. A lot of our time here today, just trying to figure out exactly what facial shape we want to go for. So we can start getting this headed in the right direction. Kind of, like I said, I couldn't really find anything in terms of reference of like Felix drawn in a Disney style, so kind of be a little bit of experimentation. I guess I don't need to slide my neck, keep sliding my neck forward when I can just slide my head back. Kind of want to square off the top of his head as well as we push more into the realm of Disney. Excited to see this one come together? Well, so am I. Doing dragons all day. That's right. Well, I'm not, but I have done dragons all day, so I can relate a little bit. Take a BPR render? Heck yeah. Post a link in the chat. Let's see some dragons. Let's square off the top up here. I think things are starting to get too much into the realm of realism in terms of like just basic shapes where we are right now. So we probably want to take a step back and reassess some of the shapes that we're putting in here. And to do that, I am just gonna do a ZRemesh, step back down, do some pushing and pulling. Let's see. I'd like to flatten the sides of his head a little bit more. Yes, please. Always turn dynamic on. The reason why I like ZRemeshing on dirty geometry really low is it's kind of one of those things, at least for me, it helps you knock down a lot of the form that's just unnecessary at this stage and allows you to focus on what's actually important, which right now is just making sure that we're creating something that looks really nice from the like most basic shape. And when I say most basic, I'm talking about like put a all black color on your material, or like flat material, whatever you want to use. It works fine with this material, just so you can look at the silhouette and see how stuff is starting to shape up. We're not there yet, but we will get there eventually. It takes time. I'm really trying to look at this 3/4 view as I wrap around. Our jaw's like, this area is so screwed up. It's fine. I always feel like I'm such a slow sculptor, but I would say that my work is, you know, at the end of the day, it's worth it for the amount of time I take. I guess I'm a little obsessive with making things a little too clean. I don't know. I like it. I like making stuff clean. Clay tubes or clay buildup for stylized characters? Either or. I don't think there's any difference in terms of the form that you can create. It just comes down to preference. I personally use a variation of the clay tubes brush that's really nice and clean. Here's my clay tubes brush, and where is the default clay tubes? When you use the default clay tubes, once you start stroking a little bit faster, it starts to break up the shape. The clay buildup does the exact same thing. I just have all my brushes set up to be a nice clean stroke. The clay buildup, the reason I don't use the clay buildup though, is because you can continuously stroke. Maybe if you have like really good control of your form, I think if you have really good control of your form and you can do stuff really fast, I think the clay buildup's faster and better for that. But because it can do stuff like this and just build up infinitely, that's why I don't use it. Whereas with the clay tubes, I can continually stroke over the same area and my surface will never get higher than my initial stroke. So I have to kind of piecemeal stroke, lift up pen, stroke to kind of build up or knock down form. And I use that as kind of a, it's like my Goku weights, right? It's my limiter so I don't F things up so much. Stupid slow on Z, that's why I stopped streaming it. Yeah, I'm even slower when I'm streaming. Definitely. Yeah, we're all a little slow. That's true. Truer words were never spoken. Smooth brush, the real MVP. I mean, smooth brush. Never heard of that one. Which one's that? I just use, is there like a brush that smooths stuff? What? Never heard of that one. What up, Hawk? How you doing, man? Welcome back. Residential bit leader Hawk with over 300 whole bits. That's more bits. I don't even have that many bits. I only got like 1 or 2 bits. I'm monsters. I'm messing with you, dude. The smooth brush. What? Huh? It was convincing though. I had you going. Alright, I'm just gonna, let's see, probably merge down our neck here in a moment. Wouldn't it be awesome though if I went like the past 5 years without knowing what the smooth brush was? Just to find out about it right now, like, what? I can do, what? That's insane. This makes everything so much easier. Let's see, do we want to go that heavy with the brow? Probably not. If we're going to be doing this kind of like square jaw, like, honestly this could be wider, but if we're going to be doing this, maybe we can get some of that shape language into other parts of the face. I am liking the direction of the lower portion of the silhouette right now. Obviously that'll change over time though, so we start to get other parts and pieces in there, like our lips and chin. Yeah, I'll see myself out. That's fair. Did your first stream on Sunday evening? That's awesome. I hope it went well. Glad you are doing good, man. Don't look up to me. Look. I'm like average height. Alright. Dudes doing commissions in Photoshop for years and they don't know about layer masks. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Alright, I say we mergeroony our neck. A very technical term. From the 3/4 view, just trying to get a little bit flatter through here. I guess it might be more so just because we don't have the lips in and I haven't really defined that plane too much. Let me play with this area for a little bit. So I'm wondering, right now, since we're still kind of discovering our shapes, if I go too Disney, you know the likeness won't be there, but obviously if we get like some of the beard and hair in there, I think it'll still be recognizable, but the question is, do we want to go that far? How far should we push it? What do you guys think? Do we go full Disney? Never go full Disney. Big brush. That is a long link. Jeez. Let's check it out. Some daggin' dragons. Boom. I forget what you said about this. I think this is just one of the dragons that you're working on right now. Very fun. He's got some really cool textures on him. I like him. I like his little beaky boy up here. And these skeletal pieces. It's a lot of fun. Dragons are a man's best friend. Well, I'm glad it went so well, Hawk. That's awesome, man. McNasty, what's going on? Working on finishing up 2 characters. Should you put it in the chat? Well, that's up to you. I'm all for sharing of the works. Let's see. Let's drop back on down. And I say we start pushing here, like really pushing the stylization. To help me do that, instead of that, here, I'm going to put some eyeballs in here for placement. Because I think the size of these eyes are going to determine a lot of the other shapes here. So, that looks big enough to me. No, that'd be absurd. Beautiful. Supergirl and an alien guy from Creature Box. Supergirl. Well, Supergirl's looking pretty good. Is this a video? Oh, it is. This one's by Creature Box. Okay. No scrubs. Trying to get that first like few frames from that angle. Looking cool, man. And I guess this one is not a video. This definitely looks like Creature Box's work. Very cool. I dig it. I love this. This first one is... I think you should go back. I think you... This looks okay, but like this. These proportions are awesome. Very fun, man. Very cool concept as well. Everybody go check out Creature Box. Give them a look-see. On your Supergirl, it looked like the head might have been a little bit too small. That was like the first thing that stuck out to me. But looking good, man. Keep it up. How square can we go before we start breaking this hoe? Let's put some ears on here. Let's cheat and use our insert ears. Not that one though. And by cheat, I mean I made this, so I'm allowed to use it, alright? It's mine. I have permission. This is getting too rounded here. I think, like, some more square shapes might be cool. Doesn't mean that, you know, we can't round those forms out, but at least to start with, I think that's probably a good general shape language to stick to for a lot of this. Then I think we can either... Let me tighten up this jawline because this thing is like all over the place back here. It's just like a weird swoop going on, and I think if we tighten this up, it'd be good. And just for placement, let me see here. Going to send you an email. Sounds good, man. Am I going to check out the Global in a couple weeks? The Global Game Jam? Most likely not. I did get Brendan, my buddy Brendan, asked me if I would like to join his team. It's him and a couple other devs. He was wondering if I would like to do some art for it. I got a lot going on right now. I told him maybe. It just kind of depends. We'll see. I think it would be a lot of fun. It's been a while since I've done something like that. It's just a lot. I got a lot. A lot on my plate. My plate is a little full. So cool to watch. Well, thanks, man. Head needs to be ramped. I've been looking at it too long. Good catch. Yeah, I looked at it very briefly, but it looked more bulbous up top. Just maybe a little bit more inflate or move out with the move brush or something. Labassi, what's going on? Yeah, we're doing a stylized version of PewDiePie. That's right. welcome. Show me what you got. Catch up, do some lunch? Heck yeah, man, of course. That sounds awesome. I am super down for that. I have not been to an IGDA or IGDA meetup, International Game Dev meetup in a while. Shoot me a massage on Twitter or on the emails or on Facebook or any of the other places where we are connected. On and off for 6 months? Yeah, I've been there myself. You like, just keep putting a project on hold over and over again. I'll finish this eventually. Finishing projects is so important. I mean, it's probably the most important part of the whole thing. Even if it's not, you know, where you want it to be at the end of that process, just being able to call it done and, you know, move on to the next thing is, I think very important. Let's see. Wondering what I want to do with the nose here, not just from the shape, but like the silhouette. I kind of like the little bit of a brow hit here into the crease and then into a flat the other direction. So, you know, down the forehead, obviously, and then 1, 2, out. Kind of like that. At least I like it right now. Oh man, this is like so stretched here. That looks bad. Here we shall attempt to pull that back and fix that. This often happens when I just build up the geometry around my nose. It just kind of just pulls and stretches and gets everywhere. So making sure that the kind of plane of the face is still, you know, wrapping well. As you add more geometry in different parts and pieces of your face, you want that primary form to not get, you know, messed up while you're doing that stuff. So it's important to, you know, after you get your basic shapes into a place where you're happy with it, at least for right now, after you start adding those secondary forms, you really want to make sure that those primary forms still hold up. And obviously, as you go about doing that, you're gonna refine these forms more and more. You know, it's a fluid process. It doesn't all just come together at once. It's not like step 1's done, now on to step 2. You'll be continuing to work on this stuff throughout the whole thing. Let's see, let's go a little bit tighter here with this shape. It's got a little bit of a flat nose as well. We can maybe make that a little bit more even. Proportionally, I think I want to make the jaw a little shorter and the head a little bit taller. Some combination of those two. Hawk, thanks for the host there, man. Appreciate it. Haven't gone to IGDA the last couple of times either. Yes, with the health issues and all that, I can definitely see that being a thing. I've just not been going because I've been doing other things. That's my excuse. Somebody had a baby. Who had a baby? I see people talking about a baby. Danielitis has a baby on the way. Very excited. Productivity will take a hit, I guarantee it. Hey, thanks for the bits.
Dot.
I missed it. I missed what it said. Did it say dope? Did it give Homer Simpson dope? That's what it sounded like. Should add that into my vocab. Dope. That wasn't a very good dough. The shape of his brow, I'm probably just going to do something a little bit more appealing. Not that he's got a bad brow, but I'm just going to do something probably more rounded. He's got a little bit more of a squared off brow, and I guess we could maybe get a little bit more of that. We'll see. You didn't say anything? I wonder what that noise was. Maybe there's somebody in my house. I don't know what that was. On screen, the bit message said ... and I think it read dot. Oh, okay. Huh. Well, the more you know. Alright, what do we think about the basic shapes here? I am liking the direction. I'm wondering if maybe some of this is just a little bit too hard, I guess, in terms of the transitional points. Obviously, we'll soften this out a bit more as we go further. I really want to get like this plane break here to be really nice. I think what I'm going to do is try playing with that area just a bit more. Seeing if I can pull in on that outer corner of the jaw, or that back corner of the jaw, sorry, and possibly square off some of this even more. And then for these ears, come on, transpose. Let's see. All right. Might do like a quick hair block out next, or like a body or something, just so that there's a torso. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea, so we don't just have a snack. Wrong brush. Why is that being so weird? What is wrong with this brush? Not what this brush is supposed to do, but anyway. So we don't just have this monstrosity. Trying to figure out a schedule. Fun. I would say one of the things that I learned early on is not making a schedule is a pretty good idea. Just because it's really hard to know how things are going to go, and there's no reason to like worry about it too much. A schedule is important, like once you have, you know, a little bit more time under your belt, I think. But I found early on that making a schedule was actually kind of a bad idea. What do I want to do? I guess I'll just do this the way I like normally do it. Give him a little bit of a, oops, a little bit of a, like a basic torso here. Very wide, isn't it? Ugh, my brain is not working. I could not press the right key for the life of me. He dropped you a follow. I'm not sure if you were talking to me. Do I have my alerts on? Oh, I think yeah, obviously I do because the bit alert went off. I have to turn off my alerts when I'm recording stuff, not for the stream, but by itself, because sometimes while I'm recording, I'll just have like a random alert go off and then I forget to turn them back on. Schedules are good when you can guarantee that that time is open and guarantee that you want to spend your time doing that thing. Yes, I would say that that is true. All right. Let's see. I'm starting to like go further and do the entire body, which is not what I want to do for this. But just to make sure, speaking of butts, I am putting in the butt next. Just to make sure that I have this kind of proportionally where I want it to be. Just getting some of this geometry in I think will be helpful. Just visually. I know it's like very boxy and simple, but it helps. Again, this is like way too thick, way too much. I always do this. I make this way too. I make the initial rib cage way too thick. I think it's because I'm proportionally matching stuff with, like, in my head with where the deltoids and stuff and the arms stick on, and I'm like trying to get that initial width, where in reality what I like to do is actually have that as a separate object so that my arms can connect properly. If you don't do that, this stuff gets screwed up pretty quick. This is so planar. Probably not gonna do. So it's just a bust, so maybe cut it like right there or something, and then I can do a little bit of army action. Or just do a sweatshirt like what he's wearing right here. That'd be very easy. But yeah, this is pretty much how I start blocking out these shapes. Start with some very simple couple pieces of geometry. These are just spheres that I've stretched out and I proportionally check them with just where my belly button line is. It's about where your elbow hits. So if you want to figure out the length of your arms, I kind of do most of this just by eye. There are like specific rules if you want to go for a more heroic proportion, but PewDiePie is not the most heroically proportioned individual. And for stylization, it's not, you know, incredibly important. More so, just getting something in here for the bust later on will be the most important part. Let's see. Let's just Dynamesh this. Did you ever learn the ways of Streamlabs chatbot? I did check it out, but I did not, or I might have installed it, but I didn't activate it. I had it activated for a little bit, but I didn't try it out on stream yet. Yes, I do. I actually still have the note. I have a bunch of notes. Let's see. Wish I could model stuff like that. Will this model be articulated? Probably not. I'm not sure what you mean by articulated. If you mean articulatable, kind of like an action figure, like with joints, no. Let's see. I guess we can pay attention to chat for a minute here, because I've missed a lot. Doing some practice? Heck yeah, man. Print it. Do some printing. Be fun. Post-processing for your prints. Pretty much all I do if I'm like doing anything to a print is sand it, clean it up, wet sand it, clean it up, sand it some more, clean it up some more, just keep sanding until you get it to a really good place, which can, depending on your print quality, be quite a bit. And then start using some like high build to fix any areas that you need to get in, fix any cracks and crevasses, even just little stuff. Sometimes there's some big repair needed, and then just prime it. As long as your form looks good, it should look good after you prime it. Let's see. Let's move all of this up real quick. Proportionally, I was looking a bit wide. Obviously, these spheres are incredibly inflated, so once we shape those up a little bit more, it'll be a lot better. Probably just get like a simple, oh my god, that's terrible. Get like a simple break here. I know we've taken enough time off the face, but once we get this, I just want to get all of this at kind of the same level before moving forward, because if you go too long, things end up looking stupid and you neglect too much of your other stuff, and then you don't want to do it later. Oh no. Woof. Not doing what I want it to. I've been using ZBrush for 10 years and Folly's so much better than me. Well, number of years is not a good indicator of time. I say this a lot. I mean, you can work for 10 years doing something, like, but that doesn't mean that you did it every day for X number of hours, right? Whereas somebody else could be using ZBrush for only a year and they use it every day and they use it for, you know, 8+ hours every single day. Whereas maybe somebody else uses it once a week for a couple hours. That's like a huge difference in amount of time. Whereas if you just say, like, I've been doing it for a year, it's like, that doesn't mean anything. That literally, to me, that means like absolutely nothing. I'm just like, okay, cool. What's your stuff look like? What am I doing with this stupid shape? Go away. Alright, let's fix our arm. Our arms. Normally when I try to do stuff fast, I just end up doing a really bad job. And that's kind of what's happening. Hey, that wasn't what I wanted. Yep, absolutely. You said it. You do it every day, get better, just like anything else. 66-hour print. Holy dirt, man. It's a long one. Do you read your whispers or is email better? I do read them. If whispers are the private message things on Twitch, if that's what those are called, then yes. I've never sent one. I don't think I know how, but I do know how to respond to them. I'm sure you can just like click somebody's name and whisper them. Pog Sculpt. Do I know Pog? PogChamp? Let's see. Give me them deltoids. Alright, let's just shape these up. Try to get something on here and then we can move back to our face, the important part of a bust. Actually, kind of just like the important part of any character. Really, we don't even need that there for now. ZRush is expensive, but not as much as SolidWorks. Yeah, but you get free updates for life. So that's pretty nice. And yeah, I don't know. I kind of prefer it that way. I use this tool every day, so for me it was kind of a no-brainer. Plus you get like multiple installations. So if you have a laptop or something else you want to throw it on, you can do that. By default, I think you get 2. When we come down to the forearm, we get a little bit more boxy. It's just hard for me to do that. It's all this topology. Can't smooth between this, there's too many polygons. Damn tiny keyboard. What'd you say? People need to be reminded that ZBrush is just a tool. Yeah, I mean, yes, it is just a tool. It's like anything else, right? It just takes a long time to get good at. And once you, I mean, the most common thing I see from people that are new from ZBrush is, you know, complaints about the UI, because it is very different from, you know, other 3D applications. Just in general. It's very different from any software. But, you know, after you get past the UI, you know, after you get past that first hump, you have to deal with the harder hump, like the bigger hump, which is making art good. And that's a pretty big hump. It's a hump that I'm still working on. Probably will be for quite a long time. Sent you a whisper? I will check it out, man. Alright, let's head on back up to our head for a little bit. Probably do some stuff with scale here. Hard for me to visually want to change that right now, just because I don't have the rest of the body in here, but the head does look a little bit big proportionally. I think that's fine though. We'll just leave it for now and change it after we get a little bit further along. So let's see, what do we want to do next up here on our head? We've started to block out some of these kind of major plane breaks. I am liking the direction on a lot of this. There's some stuff that I do not like though. We'll continue to shape up and change as we go. If I can square this off even more, that would be pretty awesome. Let's see. I don't need it to be like straight up, you know, block, but I do want it to be recognizable from a distance that there is a surface turn. If I'm gonna make a shape, like, it needs to feel intentional. I feel like it's pretty obvious when you look at something and, you know, it just wasn't pushed far enough. Feels like you're playing around with an idea, just kind of teasing it a little bit. So I'll start off with these curves. these breaks that I have in the head. Pretty tight, right? But after we get further along, I can soften quite a bit of this out, and you know, it'll still have that break right at that point, but the super tight line won't be in there anymore. So I like to keep this stuff in the early stages, just so I can help visualize, see what's going on, understand where my breaks are, where my form is changing, and then after, you know, I get a little bit further on, it's really easy. I mean, in a few seconds there, I got that to a point where I'd be happy with that. But at least early on, I like to understand and see where all this stuff is. And that head shape actually feels, at least for the back of the head, this feels pretty good to me. We'll still be working on the face for a while here. So let's get in and do the mouth next. There's a lot of different ways we can do the mouth. I typically just split the head into two separate parts. And I'll probably do that here. So let's delete our lower subdivision levels so that we can, I'm going to delete that too. I'm going to use the slice curve brush. And where do I want this mouth? Somewhere around right there. If we don't like where it is, we can move it later. Maybe like a little bit higher. Maybe in line with that jaw a little bit. Right about there. Yeah, something like that. Alright, and then the next step would be to split that into two separate meshes. I'll turn on double on these so we can see the inside. And then from there, it's just a matter of shaping up our mouth cavity, or what's better known as a mouth bag. Let me dynamesh this. 200, is that high enough? Yeah, maybe a little bit higher. We'll do something like that, and then we can start carving in on the mouth bag. So to do that, I'll just grab my mask. Oops, wrong way. I'll just mask that off and use a move brush typically. You can also carve in with like a clay tubes or standard, whatever you want to do. This is just to get the mouth bag essentially started. And the reason why I split the head like this is so that I can get in here and really sculpt on the lips. I think it makes it a lot easier. And I don't know, I've just been doing it this way for a while. I kind of like it. Works well. Gets the job done. Utan, you have a 7-year-old laptop and ZResh still works on it? Yeah, ZResh doesn't use your CPU too much. It mainly uses it just for some of the operations like Dynamesh, ZRemesher, and a couple others. But if you know, the faster CPU that you have and the more cores you have, like more gigahertz processing that you have, ZBrush will be faster because of that. Especially once you get up in those higher poly counts. Yeah, I actually recently started using Blender for a quick render scene that I made. I just made a simple 3-point lighting setup in it, and that's what I used to render this dude here. So just a simple 3-point lighting setup, you know, typical studio lighting, key light, fill, and a rim light in the back. But yeah, I am a fan of the Cycles render engine. It's pretty fun to play with. Alright, now I guess we can start shaping up our lips a little bit. These are gonna be probably super simple, right? Well, that's a nice shape, isn't it? Speaking of super simple. I was thinking probably just a singular curve, maybe like one hit for the middle portion of the lip here. Change my light direction just so I can see in a little bit better. It's very hard to tell what's going on when you have those really dark shadows. So moving your light can be helpful. So like maybe one hit for that middle section. Can play around with that. I've not seen this method for creating mouths. Interesting, makes more sense to me, and seems fast. Nice. Yeah, try it out. I don't know if it's fast or faster than other methods. I mean, it might be. It just kind of depends on, I guess, you. But I find that it gives me a level of control that I can't achieve with other methods quite as well. Plus just the ability to, quickly turn on solo mode, which I have set to a hotkey, so you can see inside your mouth and what you're working on. It's very nice. That's a nice shape. Sometimes I'll even remesh both of these pieces because I'm annoyed with some of the form and how difficult it can be to control. Zoom out, please. So all these different parts of the face kind of work together. The mouth, the nose, the lips, the chin, the eyes, all this stuff kind of feeds off of one another. So if you have one area that's starting to feel wrong or feel weird for any reason, oftentimes some stuff that you can just correct to the surrounding area to start to fix some of that. In this instance, the lower portion of the mouth here needs just a little bit more form. That's not the brush that I wanted, so I am going to do that. Now, I'm wondering how much I can build this up before we start to push away from that Disney style too much. I'm gonna try to build up some of this form and then probably soften a lot of it. I know it looks very robotic through here right now, but we'll clean it up. Just take some time. Just like everything else. like how quickly it isolates the bottom and the top. Yeah, for sure. I need this lower portion of the nose here to dip in quite a bit more. So essentially if the nose was not here, it's not what I want. If this nose wasn't here, remember how we need to keep our primary forms still feeling good? So that's like one of those troublesome areas where the more you start to build up a shape, the more it can start destroying your primary forms. So in this case, I could do something like this and split off the nose as a separate object and then just come through and make sure that, you know, I really take the time to work on this area. Really plane this out. Really make sure that that's feeling good before I go through and start adding any more form to the nose. And it's really easy to, you know, push our nose back into our face. We'll just do it all at once when we reattach the bottom lip. Just kind of cleaning that up real quick. But at this stage, you know, while this is separated, we could actually work on adding nostrils if we wanted to. Maybe get a little bit of some better topology on this thing. Like I said, he's got a pretty flat nose, so that's definitely something that we would like to do here. So let's just flatten that out. And it's a little bit tight in that middle area. Taco Knot, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. And thank you for the follow. Let's do a little bit of shaping up around the nostril. Pretty thin, pretty flat. I think most of this is going to go away. But at least getting some of this in here might be helpful. I think the wings of his nose are pretty large, so maybe we could get some more of that in there. And that could be the main piece that we kind of exaggerate here with the nose, just so it feels a little bit closer to the character or the person. And then start to get some wrap back in, so we stay within that realm of appeal. We don't want to push too far into realism here. Hey, hey. Taco Knot? That's a pretty good name. I like that. Defines a large portion of my life in one word. Oops. Now this portion of the nose will be blending into the face quite a bit more. So, you know, we're not super worried about the transitional area here. More so just in this tight area where I've added in some of those wings of the nose, as we call them. The shape doesn't look super great from the profile, so I'm gonna try correcting some of this, see what we can do. Let's try to get just a lot more curve in here. And make that nose a little bit less of a thing. We also need to get back to our lips. Try just using move with backface masking to thicken up some of this area. I always make my lips a little bit wider towards those corners during this stage, because when we go to merge them together, we're gonna have a lot of issues with the corners of the mouth, and this makes that process just a lot easier. If you're in the early stage of still like blocking out your mouth area, like trying to figure out how round you want to make that, I find that inserting a cylinder inside your mesh for something like the teeth can be really helpful to help just block out some of those forms. I'm gonna make this way more narrow. Or I'll just do that after I merge these together, which we'll do next, and make these lips a lot more narrow. Because right now I'm going all the way to the side of the face, which is just way too much, even for something in stylization. So to merge these together, we do need to open up the mouth quite a bit, just to make sure that the geometry is not touching anywhere we don't want it to, because anywhere it touches, it will merge. So, just in the corner, and I know it looks super derpy, but this is more just for technical first, and we'll work on the look after we get this together. That looks beautiful. Alright, let's try a quick Dynamesh just to see how these corners of the lips are doing. Little too tight in there, so let's kind of break that up just a little bit more. Something like that, maybe. As well as an increase in resolution. Still a little bit of stuff getting blended together in there, but for the most part that's gonna do it. Let me just clean up a little bit, and we can look at fixing our nose and the rest of this. Missed the beginning. How do you make the cut in the face? That looks super awkward from the profile there. You can use, I like to use the slice curve brush. Get two separate poly groups after you slice, and then just isolate and split those. Alright, so at this stage, just to clean things up, let's make sure we merge down our nose before we go any further. Yeah, no problem, man. Try it out. Love me the slice curve. Slice curve brush is one of my faves. Starting to wrap, just way too much there. I need this to be, if anything, wider on the lower portion of the wing. And right now it's more narrow on the lower portion. That's for the actual shape that we're going for here. The rest of that, like blending in, will be super easy. Our face is starting to feel a lot more flat, so we'll work on that as well. But let's just merge our nostrils down and get to work blending before we remesh. Whoops. Wrong brush. Alright, so there's some obvious, I think, volume that we're missing here. And once we remesh the lips, I think it'll be a lot easier to scale that all at once. Make sure we keep double on. And I'm gonna clean up our mouth bag before I remesh, just because ZBrush tends to struggle with these super tight areas. And the easier we can make this on ZBrush, the better our results will be. And then we can more uniformly scale in from here. I'd like to do kind of a pull in. Right now that would be devastating though, because our geometry has too many polygons. So let's try remeshing this. Let's just draw a mask through here real quick. Control W to polygroup. Ooh, that was way too close of a color. Control W, polygroup up. Let's maybe move that up a little bit. There, that's a little bit closer. It'll probably be fine in there. And then, yeah, let's just go ahead and do that. So we got our face here. Turn on polyframe. Whoops. Get our lines back on. And run a ZRemesh with keep groups. Now this will hopefully put in a nice edge loop around the two corners of our mouth so that we can work on the geometry a little bit more efficiently. Right now, just the way that that is split, it could have some trouble. So one way to kind of fix that so that we don't get a lot of this stretching and pulling on, or pulling going on here, is to really just smooth out these corners. ZBrush is not a fan of those tight areas. So it's like, oh, all that, you know, form that we just spent sculpting up, it's all gone. Well, we should be able to project it back, and what we can't project, we can resculpt. Didn't take that long to make that. Alright, so a quick retry on the ZRemesh. You know what? Just to make sure our poly group is still in the right area, I'll redraw out our two poly groups. And again, it gave us that super similar color. It's hard to distinguish between the two when it's like that. It's not quite in the corner, but let's try it out. See how it does. And that should be much better, I'm thinking. Hopefully, we'll find out. And after this is done, I am gonna need to go take a bathroom break because my bladder is dying. Need polyframe on as well. Oof. Wow, you did an even worse job that time. I cleaned it up for you. Come on, ZBrush, play nice. This is a trick that I do on, well actually we don't have to do this. Instead we could use the ZRemesher guides brush, if you guys are familiar with that. It's a nifty little tool that allows you to draw out a curve to say, hey, I want you to try to follow the topology that I'm showing you here. So with something like this, ZRemesher will look at this and say, oh, you want an edge loop around the mouth. I can try to do that, and hopefully it will. The more you draw this, the more it will try to stick to the topology that you're putting in here with these curves. But in this case, I don't need something super nice at this level because I haven't even created eyelids or anything else. I just need something that's workable. And if there are some like janky corners in the mouth, it's not the end of the world. So just to show a few different techniques for how you can clean up something like this. So it definitely has put in some edge loops for us around that area, which is nice, but the topology is still pretty bad. But for something auto topology that didn't take that long, you know, I say we just stick with this, add in our subdivs and projections, and get back to sculpting up this form. So I'm just projecting from our dynameshed face, this one, back to here, and you can see that there's quite a bit of stretching and junk going on, which is fun. But we'll deal with that. I'm just going to delete the old one, and we can get back here to focusing on what's really important. Let's start big shapes real quick. And then that main thing that I really wanted to do here after we lowered the poly count was make this mouth a lot more narrow, because holy crap, that thing was monstrously wide. Oh wow, we got some really bad topology up there, stretching. It's not very nice. Alright, so we got our nice mouth bag, nice and easy to work with. Got the start of some lips here. Pretty much all I want to do down here, at least for now, is just start to tighten up those transitions again that we already sculpted in. We lost a little bit though, so just kind of getting that back a little ways, and probably just working on some of the volumes down here. I think from the profile, right now at least, I say we close up our mouth just so we can work on getting that to overlay a lot more nicely. So right now we're starting to lose quite a bit of volume. Right around here. That's why it's so important to look at those extreme angles. You can find out if things are getting a little bit too narrow or wide from some view that you might not be able to see otherwise. Also, closing up the mouth will help us figure out our profile a little bit. And what's nice with our mouth bag the way that it is, we can close up our mouth and not have to worry about our geometry getting stuck together or dynameshed later on. We can open and close this at our leisure. Use move with back face masking and just thicken up that lower lip. See how strong of a dip in we're getting from our 3/4? It's a really strong S-curve in the silhouette. I want to keep his face pretty blocky, I think. I think that's like the shape that I'm trying to exaggerate the most. Yes, I am modeling Gloria Borger. I don't know where he came up with that name. Is that an actual person? From Pew News? Is this like a news anchor or something? Or did he just make that up? Because Borger is a pretty weird name to just make up off the top of your head. Alright, so now, remember how I said as you start to go up to those secondary forms, start getting all that stuff in there, you really start to, it's really easy to lose some of that, primary shapes, some of those primary shapes that you build up. So, it's important that we pay attention to that, make sure we're not losing too much of all that hard work that we did. Really just trying to look at this at like the lowest level from as many angles as I can, so that when I go forward to put in our eyelids, which is what I was going to do next, this is still looking the way we want it. I think in this area this is probably going to inflate a little bit more once I start to get those lids in there. I might have to pull in a little bit more on this inner corner as well. It feels like it's just out a little bit too far. Let's see. She's an actual news anchor? I did not know that. What up, Snowpiercer? It's a nifty little Frieza. He's fun. Is there more? Is there more to this Frieza? It looks like there might be. Beautiful. Maybe we'll sculpt him next. Also, Snowpiercer. People were like shouting out that movie like crazy when that first came out. I think it's on Netflix. At least that's where I watched it. That's where I remember watching it. I was not a fan. Oh no. I don't know what all the hype was about. Shortcut for pinch brush. I have a custom hotkey set up for it. I have all these. It's kind of like my number key row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 for me is my pinch brush. Just kind of muscle memory at this point. I don't really think about what I'm pressing, just what I need, and I press it. But you can set up custom hotkeys by holding Control and Alt and clicking on something. You do have to be in the Customize UI mode or whatever. Preferences, config, enable. Enable customize, that's what it's called. Alright, I guess we can put in some eyelids. I will allow it. The ears are fun? Yeah, that's just my... I've like slightly tweaked them, that's about it. These are a custom insert mesh that I made a while ago. I just have a insert ear brush. This is actually on my Gumroad as well. It has a realistic ear that you can use as well. Maybe a little bit too big for this, and too realistic. Hanshu Azazeru. Oh god, I think I might have actually said it right. Thank you for the follow. We started to stutter a little bit at the end, but it got out. Alright, now for the eyelids and just eyes in general. Eyes are so tough. So they're one of the first things that people look at in a face. It's the window to the sculpt, right? Something really bothering me here, and can't put my finger on it right now. I was thinking it was maybe just the roundness of the forehead there, the brow, but maybe not. Maybe it's the depth of these eyes. I'm gonna just nudge a couple things around. On your tongue, lost the timing. What was it? It's on the tip of my... What did I say? I like combined two different phrases. It was like on the tip of your tongue and oh yeah, I can't put my finger on it. So I said I can't put my tongue on it. Alright, let's get up here and play with some eyelids. Just looking at the eye cavity, we want to make sure that we have enough depth for this kind of top portion. It's just covering up a little bit more of the eye than what I want at this stage. So if I can push that up a little bit, that would be pretty cool. Maybe we can fill it back in later. But for now, just kind of use my move brush. Do a little bit of nudging around. Probably just open up this area around the eye a bit more in general. And yeah, I'm going to be working pretty close on a lot of this, so I like to keep perspective off during these kinds of operations. I'm a doctor. I'm performing operation here. An operation. I am performing operation. Yes. Alright, we're going to use my cube tube brush. This is another brush that's on my Gumroad. Essentially, it's just a curve brush that inserts some really simplistic geometry. I didn't mean to copy that. I wanted to copy my eyeballs. Because I'm going to be drawing this on top of my eye. And then I'm just going to draw from essentially corner to corner. It doesn't have to be... Whoops. Turn off symmetry while we do this. It doesn't have to be super clean or perfect. It's just, you know, got to get something started. What was that? What? I've never seen that happen. That was weird. Alright, well, we'll just click this, delete the curve. And then I'll just stretch this out. You know what? No, this is being done. Let me just redraw that. I have no idea what that's doing. It's being really annoying. So, I should be able to just click and continue this. It looks like it's working now. There we go. I don't know what was wrong there. Alright, so we got the basic shape in. And now it's just a matter of positioning it, cleaning it up, getting it to the exact shape we want. Thinking about the lower plane there. We're also going to have to crease up some of these edges. And let's see, 1, 2, you know what, that's probably pretty close to the breaks that I want there. So I will just crease up some of these edges so this is a nice tight shape. Looks pretty good. Now it's just a matter of getting it exactly where we want it. Yes, Poncho. I do remember that I need to go to the bathroom. I was just thinking about that. Don't worry. I did not forget. But thank you. Thank you for the reminder. Alright, so we will hope this will get to Lawai. Maybe. We'll see. What, Yai. That's what it is. Jack's films, he has Yai, and then PewDiePie copied his format, and stole his song, and renamed it Lawai. I don't know if Lawai even stands for anything, does it? I know Yai is yesterday I asked you blank. Jack's Films has been around forever. I want this lower plane to be... Oh god, that's awful. I need this to be more flat so that it's visible from the front. You want that plane's the normal, or perpendicular to the normal. You want the plane to be facing the middle of your eyeball. So this plane here should be flowing back towards the center of your eyeball. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's just like a good rule of thumb for figuring out this shape. This is way too thick, but I say that looks fun. That looks a little creepy. Let's go to the restroom, and by let's, I mean me. Anybody else can go to the bathroom as well, I guess. Take a break, get up, do some stretching, and we will do some more sculpting and question answering when we get back. And I will BRB. All right. Beautiful. This is gonna get on the front page of ArtStation, just like this. So just screenshot that for later. Beautiful thumbnail. All right, I'll be right back, guys. Boom. Alright. Let's do more things in 3D. This is a little disturbing. I think the likeness is there. As long as he gets a BRB forehead tattoo. Let's make sure we turn symmetry back on and fix our clay tubes brush. Alright. So what do we need to do to this? Quite a bit. So for the top eyelid, make sure my audio is actually working. Let me know if you guys can hear me. There we go. It would have to be scarring, yeah, to be that raised up. For sure, for sure. That'd be painful. I'll pass, thank you. Francisco, what's going on? Sculpting PewDiePie today? That is... Well, actually, no. No, I'm just sculpting, and he's just watching over me, you know? Making sure I'm doing a good job. Working hard. Yeah, we're sculpting PewDiePie. We're doing a stylized version. Currently in the process of creating our eyelids. Starting to figure out the shape right now. I think, I don't know, I kind of want to go a bit more round on these. Here's an image that I have of a style that I was thinking about doing, but I kind of, I'm just going to close this, because I'm not really using it, and that was the style that I originally wanted to aim for, but I have, I think, added up more form at this point to where we are still going to be aiming for that kind of Disney stylistic appeal, but at the same time, I want to get more of the blockiness of his face. And to do that, I don't think we can go quite that simplistic. Just kind of messing with stuff, noodling a little bit. Let's get back to our eyes. Always watching, that's right. Just keep them up there in the corner to say hi. Didn't understand how you make eyelids? Yeah. This cube tube brush. It's available on my Gumroad. Down here for $1, you can get all 4 of these curved brushes. Cube tube brush in action. I use it for eyelids, I use it for hair, I use it for eyelids, I use it for just inserting stuff like belts, straps, lots of stuff. I use it for anything that I essentially need a simplistic curve for. Sky's the limit. But yeah, I like this brush a lot. Hence why I made it. Mirror and weld. Oh, whoops. Mirror and weld, sorry. Just a mirror and weld. I'm getting an extra edge loop in here to make this a little bit easier to control. So after you get your eyelid in a kind of basic... Oh, whoops. I don't know why symmetry wasn't on there. That was weird. Here, I'm just gonna work on one of these, like... It's just easier. What the hell? Stop. Come on. There we go. It's just a little bit easier to work on these one at a time, and then I'll mirror it over. So after you get your basic kind of eyelid in there, duplicate, just rotate that around, and we'll reuse it for our lower lid. And obviously there's a lot more tweaking that needs to happen, but it's good to start getting both of them in earlier so you can reference them one against the other to start figuring out your shape. What you're not getting is how the poly count is going up and down so easily. That's a pretty beginner thing. It's like very, very early on. I would maybe check out some tutorials on stepping up and down through your subdivision levels. The hotkey, so down here in the geometry tab, this actually isn't geometry that's subdivided. It has a dynamic subdiv on it. But the D and Shift D keys step up and down through your subdivs. So this isn't actual subdivision levels. It's just a dynamic smooth effect, kind of like what you would see in Maya or smoothing group or something like that. Something that might help you out, get you up and running a little bit faster if you have a lot of these kind of earlier questions. And the whole reason I created it is my Quick Start course. I think it's a little over 2 hours of footage going over all that stuff, all that really early stuff. I think it has 1 base mesh and 1 or 2 homework assignments in it. Definitely has 1 where you sculpt a nose. I always recommend sculpt something super easy for those earlier stages. Something like a nose or a finger, something really simplistic, especially something that you can reference in real life, so that once you get done with it, you can look at it and say, hey, did I do this well, objectively, without, trying to create something from your head right in the beginning is typically a bad idea, and people often try to jump into like character faces, or I'm gonna make a full character right here for like my first or second week in ZBrush, and it's like, you know what, maybe don't do that. I think you're gonna get really discouraged and have a bad time if you try to do something like that. You're gonna run into a lot of hurdles and probably just discourage yourself and not want to do it anymore. But when you do something easy, like a nose, then you have a goal to aim for a little bit. You can look at your own nose, reference that. Or fingers, because while you're sculpting, you can just turn your finger around in 3D space and it makes it really easy. And then maybe after you do a finger, you can do a few more and then make a hand. And with a nose, you could maybe plop that on a basic block out for a head. So just having something that you can progress from. So you have a good starting point, and then you can level it up from there. Do some more complex work. Let's see, I think I need another loop here. So just insert a poly loop to try to retain this form a little bit better. I'll also mention for people that are maybe a little bit new here, I also have a YouTube channel. There's a link somewhere down below, and all the streams go up on there, so if you've missed anything, or you want to catch some of the other stuff that I've worked on, you can check that all out. It's just YouTube/Follygon, and I have a ton of tutorials and stuff on there. I actually made a tutorial recently where I go through, I don't know if you guys saw it, but I go through the transpose line, and I talk about all the cool kid secret functions in it that a lot of people don't know about. So definitely check that out if you guys have not yet. It's a pretty cool one. I had fun working on it. But yes, the transpose line, the dreaded tool. I love it though. Thought I was trolling when I said Sculpting PewDiePie. No way, man. This is as real as it gets. Alright, so the way this lower lid is going to blend in, not getting the shape that I want here in the front from the silhouette. I'm just trying to pull that out a little bit more. Definitely feels very thick right now. Let's look at our eyelid order really quick. We're pretty good on that, but I think just the general shape of our eyelids isn't very good. Or it's not where we want it yet. So let's work on this a little bit more. Love the video. Well, thanks, man. Appreciate that, Beckert. Like I said, it was fun to make. Did I convince you on the transpose line? There are a lot of people that are new to ZBrush that don't even know about the transpose line and have... Like, one person commented on the video and said, I don't even know how to use the... Like, I don't even know how to turn on the transpose line. It's just this button up here. It toggles between your 3D gizmo and your transpose line. I exclusively use the transpose line. I never use the 3D gizmo for moving, rotating, or scaling. I only use the transpose line. The only time I use the 3D gizmo is when I'm activating the deformers that are up in the gear icon on it. It's like the only time I use it. That was like a thing that people were complaining about for a very long time. You know, they wanted a standard gizmo tool. So, Pixologic obliged. Let's see. I'm wondering if I want to change this angle completely, or I'm just trying to look at these extreme views as well, so that this doesn't get out of hand really quickly. Like I said, eyes are really tough. They take a lot of time, and it's a good idea to take it slow. I kind of want to do something a bit more round. I don't know. I don't know exactly what that would look like. Let's do a quick fill in here on the eyes. Just so I can figure out placement. Just painting that pupil helps me figure out where I want to put my eyelids. And right now, either my eyelids need to go higher or my eyeball needs to go lower. Whoops. Stop. More of a special tool? Yeah, I understand. If you're really used to that type of gizmo interaction. ZBrush for me is like not like any other program. I don't really think about it the same as I do like other 3D modeling packages. It's my main modeling tool as well, so I'm like, I've been using it for a long time, so I'm just used to it. But I totally understand for people that, you know, have been using that gizmo for so long, it doesn't make sense to change. So after you mess around with your eyelids for an hour and eventually get them into a place where you like them, we will merge them into the rest of the head. We'll add some subdivs and then go from there. I think for now I'm just gonna work on my face here. I've made those pupils ginormous. So I think I'm just gonna mess with this area around the eyes a little bit and try to find something that I like a little bit better here for where that's gonna blend in. One thing that I actually like to do sometimes is merge in my lower lid before the top one, and that helps me blend between these two areas, between the cheek and that lid there. You can start working on the volume there a little bit more. I'm not gonna do that right now though, because we just merged our lips together, or pushed our lips together. So instead I'm just gonna work around this area and try to get this into a little bit more of an appealing spot. Let's clean up some of this. I wonder, working in Max is boring compared to ZBrush? I don't know if just like working in ZBrush is boring or not boring. I don't know, I think you have to make it not boring. I feel like working in Max could be fun. I don't have Max though, so I don't have it installed right now. I'm more of a Maya boy myself. That's what I learned on way back. Let's see. Let's try softening some of this. Just push a little bit more towards a rounded form in this area. I don't know, maybe I will blend those lids, because right now it's definitely feeling not the way I want. Give me these. see if we can change some stuff proportionally and maybe get this feeling a little bit closer. Something nice. Eyelids are still like very close to being even here, and I would like to push that quite a bit more. So maybe try that a little bit here. The inner angle on this is just a little bit too steep. And this feels like way too uniform of a curve. So let's break that up as well. And I would like to get a little bit of that kind of thick to thin nature in here, if I can. If you guys aren't familiar with the concept or fundamental of thick to thin, the basic idea is to pretty much just avoid parallels wherever you can. So if you're shaping up something like we have this quick blocked out body down here that we've made, anytime you have something that starts to taper a little bit, it just feels more visually interesting. I would say almost always avoid, parallels or perpendiculars, perfect parallels or perfect perpendiculars, unless it directly adds to the design. So in a lot of hard surface stuff, that can be the case, but for the most part here, even if I'm like getting some kind of line here across the body, I'll try to not make that perfectly parallel with the ground plane. So all of that kind of just adds up to keeping your shapes more interesting. And that's just like one fundamental concept out of many, but it's one that I try to think about a lot while I'm working. Maybe play with the thickness in some of these different areas. And then let's open up our mouth again, because we're going to merge down these lids. And I mentioned earlier that, we don't want to do too much work on our lips, because we will end up going back into Dynamesh. That's why I said the geometry here. It doesn't really matter if we have like a star, it's really stretched. You can see that the pinching work that I've done here has already started to warp my geometry, which is totally fine, because we're going to be remeshing it later. So at this point, let's start with our lower lid first. Oh, that's fun. It's a good look. And from here, I am going to Dynamesh this. This is disturbing. Here. Maybe that's a little bit better. I'm going to Dynamesh this now into the rest of my head. Let's make sure these corners are lining up with where I want them. Yeah, I think that's fine. Oh, we should also merge down our ears as well. I can Dynamesh those in. Since we're merging a bunch of stuff. Let's make sure there's enough room back here so that these ears don't connect in any weird spots that we don't want them to. Cool. Just want to make sure that there's nothing that I want to correct at this stage. That would be easier to do with subdivs before I head back to Dynamesh. It's really not that big of a deal though, because we will eventually get to a point where we have some nice topology to work with. Not that the topology that we don't have isn't nice now, but you know, it's not as clean as we could be. It's definitely sculptable though, which is the main thing. Alright. Let's go ahead and merge down. I'll just delete my subdivs so it doesn't take as long. If you merge two objects that both have subdivision levels, they'll try to reconstruct those. It can sometimes take a minute or so for that. So quick Dynamesh, that puts us at 1.8 mil. These forms are looking pretty good, so we'll keep that. And we will merge down our ears. Oh, you know what? I will, let me trim this up a little bit. That'll be good. Alright. Dynamesh the ears down. And now what this allows us to do is go through areas like our lids here and start filling in some of this information and just blend between these two shapes. Especially more here on the outer corner than the inside, although we will want to do that on the inside as well. Just to start cleaning this up, getting this to feel like it's more connected instead of just stuck on there. I was gonna say, this almost feels like it's bending the, it's like eyelid was bending this way from the side. A getting over it look? Yeah, kind of. Move this ball out a little bit. And if you want to scale an object across the symmetrical axis, just make sure that you turn on local sim so that it scales up more uniformly. Whoa! Bless me. Alright, and then we will merge down the top lid as well, as long as we're happy with the basic shape, which is pretty fine right now. Obviously it's going to change once we get this attached here. Just Dynamesh that in. And now we have all of it combined. All of the stuff here in the head. And there's kind of a mess of polygroups right now that we'll probably have to make some changes to as we go. Probably just erase all those and redo it. I was thinking like more rounded, more open. Papa Bless. Yeah, maybe we can do Ethan next. Alright. I am going to remesh this. Our face is looking very flat here in the profile, but I'm going to remesh this. We also don't have perspective on. So that we can make it easier to work on, and now we have everything combined, so maybe we can clean up our topology a little bit. I will just do, before we do that, a little bit of blending between some of these shapes, such as back here on the jawline into the ear, a very simplistic ear. Let's use some clay tubes here. Starting to get that there. In the back, I'll just smooth this out a little bit so that we don't get any weird projection errors. Anything that's like super tight or very close together, when you go to project later on, it can cause a lot of issues, especially back here. It's one very common problem area. Let's see. And a lot of this will be softened out, especially a lot of these plane breaks that I have going on here in the face. It's going to be a bit easier to do that out of Dynamesh though. I think the main thing that I want to do is just fix how flat the face is feeling from the profile. And then maybe just do some general proportional changes. But luckily, you know, our forms are still clean, so it shouldn't be too hard to push that without, you know, ruining the rest of our sculpt. That's why we spent all that time in those earlier stages. See if I can get some of that face wrap back in there a little bit better. Starting to dip in just too much here. Right through here, it feels like the shape starts to break a little bit too much. Alright, remesh Rooney time, and then we can clean up everything. Alright. Ah, that was in place of Gesundheit. I see. Maschnez. Yes. Alright, so from here, again, getting rid of all those polygroups, just a Control W to do that really quick. And then, let's see, where do we specifically want our, ooh, you know what? I should clean up in here a little bit because this will cause a lot of problems. And we want it to be clean around the eyes. So, probably, probably just do a couple of loops around here, around the form of the brow here. Let's just start doing this now, instead of talking about doing it. Alright, so we're gonna get one loop around our eyes here. You could use ZRemesher guides to do something like this, but ZRemesher guides is exactly that. It is a guide. I find that when I use polygroups, I can get a little bit more specific and a little bit more complicated. Let's turn this in a bit more. Alright, so a Control W, give me a different color please. Polygroup that up, and then we'll get in here on the, oh, you know what? We did that on the back of the head as well, not what we wanted. Let's just fix that real quick. And then we'll do, let's do one around the, whoops, around the lids and then on the actual crease of the lid. And that'll probably be good. Nope, ran out of tape. The lasso tools can only go for so long. I guess I reached that limit. Alright, mask this off. And I don't want it up there. I say that's probably clean enough, so we'll just polygroup that and hide this, and then I'm going to do, whoops, wrong brush, just this edge here. And we'll just clean that up a tad. Polygroup, Control W. Great. Alright, so now we have 3 basic sections that I want ZBrush to try to put loops around. One around just the shape of the brow, one around the inner crease of the eyelid, and then one on the outer crease of the eyelid. So hopefully we can get all that in there. The other areas that we want edge loops around to pay special attention to are probably around the mouth, so we'll do that next. So to do that, let's just start here. Try to get a loop around the face. Want the mouth bag in this selection as well. So that's actually fine. I'll do the nose as a separate group as well, just because noses get a little funky down in these tight creases oftentimes. So let's see. She Noob, what's going on? Thank you for the follow. Alright, let's get a little bit more polygroups going on. We'll go back to our mask lasso. Try to do one. Let's see. You know what? Yeah, we'll do that. And I don't really want the mouth bag in this. I'm just gonna get rid of that. Control W. Alright. And then I'm going to try to get one more out of this for just around the lips. So, more polygroups for something like this isn't always a good thing because it just gives more that ZBrush can kind of screw up on. Sometimes just the automatic can be better. But we're going to try to be as specific as we can with this one and see how it does. Anything else? Yeah, probably. Probably just a kind of general around the face loop. Just so we can hopefully get a nice clean edge loop around our jawline. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I'll probably make a separate poly group for the ears as well. But I think that looks good enough. Plus we need to fix that poly group in the back. Alright, and then for the ear, I'll just, let's see if I can hopefully get this in one on the right angle. Oh, how do we do? Can't tell if that is poly group or masked or not. It is, just a little bit. It's almost like it blurred there a little bit. That's weird. Uh-oh. Fix this last little bit, and then we'll try remeshing. And just to make sure that the edge loops are going in the correct direction from the front. All right. Let's go ahead and do a remesh. Oh boy. This is where the real fun starts. Because this is probably going to break quite a few times. So to start, I'm going to do a keep groups remesh probably at... let's do 3. I did a quick save so that if/when this crashes, we can get that back up really quick. Pretty much when I'm working on stuff in the earlier stages, like my first day or so working on stuff, I won't even save out a separate Z tool unless if it's personal, I definitely won't. If it's you know something I'm getting paid for, obviously I do. But there's just no reason to. The quick save functions are really good, and you can get like up to 10 of them. Let's see. Kind of freaked out a little bit around the ear there where those meet. But I don't really care about the ear. It's more so just around the mouth and eyes that I care about. It's like the 2 most important parts. That's pretty good. Some of it's kind of really messed up. I want to see how low we can push this before we really start breaking stuff. Just saw your transpose tool tutorial. You're the man. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, no problem, Zofo. Glad it was helpful for you. There are people that, you know, have been using ZBrush for years that don't know about a lot of that stuff. So I think it's cool. There's a lot of secret hidden functionality. Not really hidden, because a lot of it is, you know, in the documentation. Some of it isn't in the documentation, though. It's just cool to go over some of that stuff and share it. That's so bad. So bad in the corners of the mouth. Let's see here. Low value will attract your topology edges toward the curves, while a high value will strongly guide the polygon flow. I can't remember which way I normally crank that. Let's try like 90 on that, and I can't remember which way I normally crank this either. Let's do this. We'll try an experiment here. $81 billion subs. It's a lot of billions. I think you maybe mean million, and I'm guessing PewDiePie hit 81 million. Ooh. That is, I think, more so what we want for the eyes. Being a little... wonder if that was more so the adaptive. Riot! What's up? Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Let's crank this back down now. By default, this is set to like 50, I think. Adaptive size is just for the how much you want ZRemesher to interpret, you know, some of the gaps that it maybe can't with the poly count, target poly count that you set. Yeah, there are only 7 million people on Earth. It's like 350 in the US alone. Or 315, 320-ish, I think now. All right, so yeah, let's go back to about 50 for the curve. Adaptive size, maybe a little bit higher here. Increase that. Target poly count. Higher value will strongly guide the polygon flow. I don't know what that means. I might have to throw in some ZRemesher guides around here. Really, the first one that we did, I was totally fine with, just because it was sculptable. But I wanted to see if we could push it a little bit further. See, the more I push that, the more it starts to break around there. It looks like there's a hole in the mesh there, but it's actually just the polygon normal is screwed up, so it's actually fine. But yeah, let's go ahead and put this back to where we had it before, and we should be good. I think I did three target poly count 3. I don't remember. Maybe I did 3. Inky, what's going on, man? I am awesome. I am fantastic. I am ZRemeshing this face to hopefully get something more workable. So yeah, that's definitely a lot closer to the first one that we did. I'm not sure why the poly group through here isn't going all the way up through there. It's being a little dumb. Why are you doing that? It's kind of weird. As long as it's not creating any stars or tries in important parts of the face, I really don't care. Just got out of an interview with Epic. Sounds like fun. Went well. That's awesome, man. And with Nintendo. Nintendogs. Very cool. Dang, this like straight up broke. Alright, we'll just do what we had before. I was trying. I tried. That's all I can say. Plus, I just don't want to spend a ton of time doing it. I'd rather just manipulate the form. Now that's epic. Thank you, Becker. Thank you, Ben Shapiro. Okay, now it's not even updating. Let me... That's super weird. I don't need the undos on this, right? Yeah, I'll just delete it. sculpt a little bit on this, make sure that it's like recalculating what I got. Why would you be so dumb? Just to make sure that we don't get that same stupid result yet again. So that's pretty annoying. Now that might break my geometry, because see how the guide is like pushed into my mesh there a little bit? It's kind of annoying. That's the best curve I've ever drawn in my entire life. Alright. Last one. Let's see if that... Oh, okay, cool. That's actually exactly what I wanted. I'm gonna redo this one too because it's like like I said, pushing into the geometry. It's not gonna help our remesh. Please don't snap. Okay. I don't know why that was being so stupid. You've never had it snap to the middle like that? Yeah, it does it all the time for me. It's pretty annoying. I don't really use it very often though. I pretty much just use polygroups and occasionally use ZRemesher guides if it's being extra finicky like it is right now. It really just doesn't want to do this purple polygroup. I'm going to delete this polygroup because it's causing more issues than it is solving. I didn't really need it. I just wanted an extra edge loop. Yeah, I can normally get some really good sculptable geo out of just polygroups. So a little bit of some weird flow in a couple different areas here. There is a weird turn here, weird star. That's the main thing I want to avoid. The heck was that? Tried to smooth this. Okay, that's okay. It's mainly just that I don't like out of this result. So let's try a little bit lower value. At least it's doing what I want it to now, so that's good. How did I delete that polygroup? I didn't delete it, I just combined it with another mesh. My throat's dying for some reason, so give me a second here. I didn't delete it, holy shit. That's fun. I took the two polygroups that I wanted to combine and just pressed Control W. I just said delete polygroup because that is technically, you know, what I was going for. Pinching your poof chair in Marvelous, doing some Marvelous designer stuff. That's fun. I don't really use Marvelous. I could do this without polygroups and a lot of the results would probably be better. I'm just not sure why it's really wanting to put a star there. I'm about to just say, ooh, that's fun. I'm about to just say screw it and do it without it. Let's get rid of this. And I'm gonna get rid of this too. I think it's just too much for ZRemesher. I've done this before, and I know that I've had to play with it for a little while to get exactly what I wanted, but I really just don't think it's worth the time investment right now. Your voice is cute. Wow, thanks. Yeah, don't make me blush. I got a brush. Alright. Hey, there we go. Except you dang old star. You did it again. Am I okay with that star? No, not really. Alright, we're gonna try one more thing, and if it doesn't work, I'll just keep what I had before. I promise. I don't want to spend an hour just fixing the base topology here. I just need something workable so that I can reshape some of our proportions in the face here. Alright, pretty much gave us the exact same thing. We will keep it and move on. This is still workable. Alright, let's do a, where are we? Subdivide and project here a couple times. Really doesn't need that much. You love Marvelous? It's a pretty cool program. You can simulate a bunch of different fabrics in it. I've not done it on this mesh, no. Normally it gives me shittier results. Here, if you want to see what it would do really quick. Oh wow, what the hell is that projection there? What is that even going to? I guess we're gonna have to redo that anyway. You know, I'll keep it the same. MD to ZBrush to Maya to 3ds Max. ZBrush to Maya then to Max? Wow. Hi Yenny, what's up? Thank you for the words. Thank you for the follow. I don't know what I was trying to say there. Alright, so we're doing a little bit of an alternative algorithm attempt here. It pretty much always gives me worse results, which is why I don't use it. But yeah, so there's that. Yeah, I think I'll stick with what I had. Did it make these the same? It did. It's weird. Alright, so what we're gonna do... Does this not have the undos? Can I fix this? I can fix that relatively easily. I'm not sure why that exploded in the corner there. I guess that mesh was just like flipped inside out a little bit and then it didn't know where to project to. So it kind of freaked out. I'm not worried about it. Alright, let's step back. The whole reason why we did this was so that we could step back and, again, go back down to our lower subdivs and start fixing this where it needs it most. Let's see. getting a little bit too pointed up here towards the top of the head, so let's make sure that we're getting some nice facial wrap here. And I think the eye socket needs to just be repositioned a little bit, along with some of the shapes of our lids here. Maybe the placement of our eyeball as well. I'll have to play with that. I am also going to just bring back this shelf of the forehead a little bit. A little bit with the transpose, and then just a little bit with the move brush. And then just work on softening some form here. And then we're going to just clean up, whoa, not what I wanted. Clean up some of these tighter areas that we've just blocked out, so we can start getting this a little bit closer to the final form that we want to see here. I like to keep stuff pretty tight, at least in those early stages, so that while I'm figuring out some of these shapes, I can just exaggerate and know where my landmarks are, and then go from there. It's really simple to start softening these up, though. What is up with my move brush? Ah, my focal shift. First time retopoing, doing some stuff in Maya. Using that quad draw tool most likely. I tried out the quad draw tool. I could not get it to accurately go where I needed it to. It just was not doing what I needed it to do. Like if I had a tight edge like this, it would either embed into the surface a little bit, or if I had like, I think I tried to retopo a little bit of a more complex box. It just had a bunch of different edges on it, different hard corners. I was really struggling with that. I'm sure there was some way that I could get the snap to be a little bit better, but it just wasn't super clean for me. I've had a lot better luck with 3D Coat with their retopo tools. And their UV tools are pretty nice. We definitely need to do some more work on our body that we've blocked out, but let's just play around here in the face for a little bit, see if we can start getting some of these shapes a little bit closer to what we want for the final face. Whoops. Me jaw's getting a little bit more narrow than I originally intended. I don't know. Maybe that's not a bad thing. When switching between your transpose line or your 3D gizmo and a brush, sometimes it gives you like this fake brush that doesn't exist in ZBrush. It's like, it gets confused. I don't know what it is exactly, but it's like this weird in-between. And it's like a standard brush, but super strong and not very fun to work with. Maya 2019 is out. Wow, I didn't even know. I don't use Maya very often. Alright, obviously the shape of our eyelids are going to need to change quite drastically. We're starting to get in here. And adjust some of these other forms. I was thinking it would be cool if we did something like super rounded. I'm not really sure yet though, before I commit to that. I might want to experiment with it a little bit more. Dasan, thank you for the follow. Welcome. How are you doing? I would maybe want to play with that, trying to figure out how round we could make something there before I started to push too far away and feel a little bit awkward, but I'm cool with playing with it. Catalyst Live, thank you for the subscription. Awesome. Wow, that's 2 in 1 day. That never happens. Appreciate it. Appreciate it a lot. Thank you, Catalyst. As my voice begins to crack and die. There's no official 2019 video yet. Oh no. Like no official announcement video for it? A hot dog. I can't tell you the last time I opened up Maya, in all honesty. Whoops. Alright, what do we want to do here? I've just been kind of playing around with making that face more squared off. I don't know, I feel like if we're going to do that, we just need to severely narrow a lot of this. So maybe that can be something that we play with in the future. Oh, whoops. I'm gonna re-close up this mouth because it's very awkward right now. Pay special attention to that convexity that we're getting there, because that looks terrible. And I guess we can just reshape our lips back up to where we had them really quick. Probably a little bit too much of a what would you call it, pull out here, I guess. It's making that feel just very awkward and flat. I I think in general, a lot of this is just not in a great place proportionally. So I think we're kind of in this like weird in-between phase right now. I talked about this last Friday, I think, on our last critique, where you're kind of going between this middle ground area for stylization and realism. So I'm trying to think about like different things that I can put in here that I'm noticing in terms of like realism, and also, you know, trying to push this more towards stylization slowly over time. But I think our problem, now that I moved all that's not lining up, but I think our main issue is that we kind of just need to decide to like really push on some of this stuff a lot more. So right now we're kind of like in the middle of the seesaw. So I think we dive a lot deeper into the stylization, and I think our sculpt will be better for it. So I am going to just start really lengthening his head and repositioning his eyeballs back up here. So I am going to just get a longer head. I think we're gonna retry on the main shape of this jaw, especially now that we have the all the parts and pieces of the face in there. It's a lot easier to kind of start pushing this that direction now. But I think what we had before was kind of like more so in the way I wanted to go, but just over time we kind of lost what we were looking for, which is fine. It's not like it's super hard to get back, just because we have something low poly and easy to work with. But now it's just a matter of actually finding that. So almost like a caricature in a way. Really find those different things that stand out to you and try to exaggerate them more and more. I'm trying to go taller towards the head. I don't know, maybe we could even really just like pull out that chin. Really boxify this boy up. Really get away from this unnecessary, a bunch of unnecessary kind of surfaces here. And just simplify a lot of the curve up. So coming down and around the chin, so essentially we just have a 1, 2, and then from the profile that starts to clean up. We don't want to go so blocky though that, you know, feels awkward. Feels completely broked. Then the other thing I really wanted to keep in from the 3/4 view, or at least early on, was a nice straight line. As we started to put our lips in there, though, that started to become less and less apparent. So I think I am cool with kind of the boxy nature of this, but to keep this in that realm of appeal, I'm just going to start working on the transitional area between the cheek, coming down from the cheekbone all the way down to the jaw, and I'm just going to put this in a kind of a more appealing direction here. So right now we're just trying to exaggerate something a bit more, and I don't think it was working, so we're going to try and just try something different. Get a bit more volume here. I think this is already starting to flesh out a little bit more. I am getting a lot of stretching going on here though, because I am using the pinch brush. Kind of just a necessary evil of the brush. But yeah, I think it's working out. So I like this new direction here a little bit more. Our eyelids are really, really screwed up. It's always fun. viruses and flu in general seem to rise up. There's just time when they all like go crazy for the entire planet. I get sick a lot. Not actually as much as I used to, but definitely at least once a year. I'm not sick right now. My throat is just freaking out because I talk too much. Alright, so when I'm aiming for a peel in the face, the transition that I'm putting in right now is something that I often look for just to get a little bit more volume in the cheeks. Our line isn't, you know, perfectly straight from that 3/4 angle, but I think with a little bit more tweaking I might be able to get it there just to make it read a little bit better so that it feels a little bit more shelf-like or blocky. And then of course once we put on like some poly paint and hair and everything else, this will feel a bit better, a bit more close to Felicia. Sometimes it's just necessary to break your sculpt. Take a step back. Look back at what you fundamentally wanted to do in the beginning. I am going to try to, instead of pushing the brow out further, I'm going to try to get a better transition between the forehead and the brow. So I'm just pushing in this area a little bit, kind of trimming it up, and then I'm going to blend that back. So let me pinch this here, make sure that that's fine. And now through here, we'll just kind of trim slash smooth it up a little bit so we just start to get a little bit more of a hit there. "50 seconds ago, the video just got published for the Maya 2019 update. It's hilarious. He knew. Yeah. Well, we can say, guys, we were some of the first. We knew before the video even dropped. Alright, just to help this a little bit more, I think we'll probably put in some brows. Maybe some eyelashes too. Let's duplicate, and to insert our eyebrows, we'll use that good old cube tube brush that we were using earlier. It's great for a lot of different things. So I'll just click and drag out. Let's see, he's got relatively flat-ish brows, so maybe just a quick shape here. Lower the Z intensity. And we will shape these up. Tycoon, what's going on, man? Such clean lines, bruh. Well, thanks. That's what they call me, the mean, clean sculpting machine. Tycoon, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. If you guys are new here, or if anybody else is new here, my name is Jeff. My name's Ben. My name's Jeff, or Follygon. Yeah, I don't know. There's some links below to my stuff. You can check it out. Or just creep in the background. It's whatever. Whatever. I guess we could turn perspective on. Kind of helps when you're rotating around your model. For the for our body that we've completely neglected and forgot about, we'll do more with that here in a moment. So if we wanted to work on this face a little bit more, I would probably add like a little bit of poly paint just to start getting that headed in a better direction. But I think our body could use a little bit of a, not a facelift, I guess, a little bit of body lift. So we'll probably take a Ganda down there for a few. As soon as I'm done filling in some of this, because this shadow creates this really awkward feel here. That's why it's so important for your eyelid order, or not your eyelid order, but for your eyelid plane to be facing the center of your eyeball, because it really affects how the light reflects off of there, and can make that whole part of your eye seem really flat. Alright, let's do some stuff to our body, since we just kind of left this in earlier. Just ice. Just ice. I don't know what ice we're talking about. Are we talking about me? Seems pretty chill. No, I will ban anyone who doesn't agree with me, and yeah, that's it. That's about it. I don't know. No. I guess I would call myself a chill dude. More so just trying to concentrate than more than anything else. I'm such a slow sculptor when I'm trying to talk at the same time. And to get us out of that alien phase a little bit faster, sometimes I just have to be quiet and concentrate. Let's see. Ugh, my neck. What's wrong here? Why is my sensitivity not working? Okay, there we go. Alright, so I'm just trying to block out a little bit of that clavicle there so I can figure out the directionality for which way this is supposed to go in here for this like little plane change, and then I think just to make this easier on myself, I'm just going to grab a little bit of our floaty neck here, our little snack neck, and merge some of that with the body, just so that I can work on that shape together. So just a quick Dynamesh, yay, and we'll just sculpt on this a little bit. Back again, what's going on, Hawk? Welcome back. We're still sculpting away. I decided that on the face I wanted to push a little bit more towards a stronger stylization. There's still a lot more to go on that, but it's gone a completely different direction, I think. More so what I was thinking initially. I'll probably soften up quite a bit more stuff there, but let me just start getting some additional form in here. I think we want to slide that up a little bit. Let's go like there. Ish. When blocking out things, it's important not to get, you know, too caught up in the details. I just want to keep this pretty simple. Think about the big shapes. Think about where this is kind of turning here for the rib cage. I think it's probably good. This is just going to be, these arms are like way too thick, but this is just going to be, you know, a bust. We're not going to do like a full character here, so I think I just want something that transitions pretty nice around here, and then for the rest, you know, I'll just chop the rest off, probably. Don't ban me. Don't ban me, bro. I need a gaming chair. So there was a neck thing or a headrest on this, but it kept getting in the way, so I just ripped it off. I don't know. I didn't rip it off. I took it off, but yeah. Still amazed how good this looks. Well, thanks, man. It looks all right. You know, it's the first day on it. For some more finished stuff, there's a link down below to my art station. We got this guy is the most recent one, but we worked on this guy on stream for a long time. I think it was like 15 streams. It was a while, and I didn't work on it off of stream. So for those that are interested in watching the process from beginning to end, or at least just skipping through it, scrubbing through, you can do that. It's over on my YouTube channel. Ashley, sorry I missed your message there. What's going on? Never clicked on a stream so fast. PewDiePie, oh my god. Yeah, we're still in the early stages. But welcome. If you guys don't know Ashley, she sculpts on the Pixelogic ZRemeshing channel as well as her own channel. So go give her a click. Check out her stuff. Thank you, Ashley. Very cool. Remember to read your messages. I will check all my messages after I'm done streaming. I don't check anything while I'm streaming. But don't worry. I'll have a big notification there, and I will not be able to avoid it. I can't not click on my notifications to make them go away. That's why on my phone I actually turn off pretty much all notifications. Keep my phone on silent at all times. It's just annoying. I don't know. I can't deal with that all day. I'll check my phone when I check it, alright? Check it in my own time. It's not going anywhere. Oof. Let me think here. Inner arm, a little bit more flat, outer arm. I'm just gonna remesh this. This is so dense, and this shape is like getting crazy. I just wanted something simple. I don't know what I'm doing now. Use reference, kids. You know what? I know what I'm gonna do for these arms. I've decided. Can your chair do what PewDiePie's chair does? A little bit, not quite. It's like I don't know what you would call this, 50, 55 degree angle. Not quite a straight 90. So no, I cannot do this. Alright, I'm gonna shrink these down. Smooth out all that garbage. And do the same up here. This is what I'm going to do. Can his chair transform? Pretty much. If this ends up in Lawai, I will scream. You probably wouldn't be the only one. Depending on what the finished result looks like, I might post it on the sub. We'll see. If I'm going to do that, I should probably spend a decent amount of time on this. But luckily, you know, I'm just doing the bust, so it's not like a huge time sink or anything. Alright, this feels a lot better, just kind of pushing more towards stylization. Boy, you need some work up here. You need some profile work. I think this inner corner, first of all, is really bothering me, but there's a lot that's bothering me here. just feel like getting a little bit more depth here wouldn't be a terrible idea. I think that really helps the 3/4. Alright, where were we? We were doing stuff on the body, that's right. I was trying to plane out just like this basic transitional area right around the top of the rib cage, clavicle area. This is like always a really complex area, so I don't know, it's an annoying area to sculpt. So I'm just gonna make it super simple and have the basic shapes in there. And then obviously clean this up because this is pretty messy. Like this line alone is just all over the place. Wrapping down around through here. Yeah. Let me go into T-pose really fast, just so we can fix some shite. How is PewDiePie's waist, by the way? Is he like, does he have a lean, mean figure? What do we, is PewDiePie more, what is PewDiePie, guys? That's fun. Here. I think I'm just gonna make him a little bit more boxy. Probably pull out just a little bit more in the volume for the Z axis. And let's see here. I'm so bad at reading chat. Let's see. You're doing your part? That's right. I feel like every time I hear I'm doing my part, I think of that that space movie. This. What is this? Space Troopers, or I always think of this. And then there's just like the little kid at the end. I'm doing my part. For a 2-second clip of PewDiePie saying, "Oh, that's cool." I mean, I don't know about you, but all of my art people look at for 2 seconds and they say, "Oh, that's cool." So it probably won't be much different than the normal situations. Are you gonna make his neck and arms skinnier? I was thinking about that. Probably more so the neck than anything. I already thinned out the arms quite a bit. For the arms, I was just going to essentially go super stylized and just make tubes. But the difference in resolution here is a little bit tough to manipulate. So let me just work on maybe just this mesh, just to thin that out a bit. A lot is going to change in the face. I don't really like where it is right now. It's definitely better than what we had before, right? But still, still ways to go. Obviously, once we get in the facial hair plus some poly paint, get some color in there, things will be a lot more, you know, recognizable. But I want to play with the shape of the face for a while. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that tonight on the Pixelogic channel. I'm streaming on there tonight at 6. like I said, probably just do some tubes for the arms. Really simplistic, kind of like Pixar-esque. Honestly, at this point, like, who doesn't watch PewDiePie? Come on. Just subscribe, guys. Just subscribe already. This is like... How many, Did you guys see the stupid egg on Instagram? Or it's like the golden egg or whatever. Is it like... There's a hashtag for it, I don't know what it is. Oh yeah, CNN, I can't wait to get like met with 1 billion ads here. Oh my. Hawk donated $10.
Thanks
Holy
for
crap,
your help
man.
and advice just before I started streaming. Thanks for being cool, man. Inspired by your work. It's awesome.
Okay. I kept trying to talk in the middle of that. Thank you, man. That's very kind of you. I really appreciate that. That's really cool. I'm glad I was able to help you out, though. That's real cool. What are we at right now on this stupid egg? 42 million likes. That's ridiculous. Did you guys see this? Look, if we can get this many people... When was this posted? January, like, 7th or something? It doesn't say here. But if this thing can get, like, 42.5 million likes, I mean, I think we can get PewDiePie to, like, 200 million subs. Like, we gotta hit that hundo first, but... Come on. Do your part. Subscribe. He's always in oversized shirts and sweats. Yes, he's hiding a whole pregnancy under there. Disturbing. Disturbing to think about. Starship Troopers, that's what it's called. That's what that terrible movie's called. Thank you. His chin juts out quite a bit. Sure does. The epic egg. The epic egg. You're welcome. Well, thanks again, Hawk. That was really cool of you, man. I have not liked the egg. I have refused. I refuse to like this stupid egg. I won't do it. I will not participate in this stupid egg that means nothing. I don't like the egg, so how can I click like? I only click like on things that I actually like. This is just... That's what that button's for. It says like. I can't just click it because everybody else is clicking it. I will not fall for the peer pressure. I'm probably just going to clip this probably around here, or just give him a sweatshirt. Honestly, I'll probably give him a sweatshirt by the end of this. So at least for now, you know, just something, just so we got something here under the board. Oh boy. I really don't like to merge arms into my torso because the armpit gets really screwed up. Or at least it does for me. But yeah, I'll just keep these separated for now. I'm just trying to get a nice plane break at the deltoids. Like right here. So there's a little bit of a plane break there. It's probably, you know, too sharp, and it's easy to soften that. But, at least for starting out, get that going the right direction, and then slowly build up some form later on some other stuff. Probably, like I said, a sweatshirt. I was thinking about just doing a sweatshirt instead of a body, and just say screw it, but I don't know. Kind of helps you proportion and block out everything else when you start to get a body in there. Obviously a lot more to go on this, but I don't think I have too many undos here. Just about 800. I think we have a lot more than that. I deleted my undo history earlier, but we can, here, I can step back. So I decided that it would be a good idea to, instead of just going for more of a kind of tight plane break here, instead of that, I decided to start adding in some more volume. Shut up, doggy. Dude, every single one of my neighbors has like 3 dogs all around me. It's awful. I know, first world problems. But anyway, started to get some more volume in my cheeks. I think I like that direction a lot more. And I'll probably continue to shape that up more and more and work on the likeness in terms of the shape of the face. From the profile, I don't know what I want to do with that yet. Maybe pull in a little bit around the nose. Probably make some pretty drastic changes overall. But I think it would take a decent amount of time here to figure out exactly what we want to do. I might try to do something a little bit more with the likeness, like I said. But I think that'll really start to come together once we start getting the hair, poly paint, all that good stuff. Which maybe we can do that next. By next, I mean next time, because I think this is a pretty good place for us to hit pause on this sculpt. For now, I got some more work that I need to get done before I stream tonight. Again, I'm streaming on the Pixologic ZResh channel tonight at 6 p.m. EST. If you guys are going to be around, definitely come say hi. I'm noticing like this super... This plane right here is terrible. I hate this. So I really want to work on that. And like I said, we will do that next time. Either tonight on the Pixologic ZResh channel at 6 or tomorrow at noon EST here on my channel. Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss anything before we bounce. Print this for him and mail it to him. Maybe. We'll see. Noticed you sell some of your designs on Shapeways. Are they printed already or the files for people to download and print? Those on Shapeways are print on demand. So you, if you buy one, they will send you a print. Lamentio, what's up? Do I think he can still beat T-Series? I don't know. I think it's inevitable. It will eventually overcome. It's pretty close right now. I think it's under 1 million. The way to cure the dog problem is to get a corgi. This does not sound like a cure, but I do want a corgi very bad. Then my house can bark back. Sometimes, I'm not proud. Look, I'm not proud to say this, but sometimes I just blare music, and eventually they do stop barking. Like I said, I'm not proud of every decision I've made in my life. Critiques are on Fridays, yes. The next critique is this Friday at noon EST. So if you guys want to get your stuff in for that, just shoot me an email. The instructions for that are in the chat. And yes, the last thing I'll shout out here at the end, of course, just my Gumroad, gumroad.com/Follygon. There's a link down below, brushes, materials, user interface stuff. I hope this is making you feel a little sick. There's some courses on here as well at the top. I'm sure you guys have heard me shout this out before. But yeah, other than that, there's some other links down below to my YouTube channel. All the stuff gets uploaded on there, yada, 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 etc., etc. All right, you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will either see you again tonight on the Pixologic ZResh channel, 6 p.m., or on my channel tomorrow. All right, you guys have a great day. See ya.